Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to learn about the I-83 East Shore Section 2 and East Shore Section 3 projects. Over the last year and a half, the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation and the Federal Highway Administration have met with the Tri-County Regional Planning Commission, local municipalities, and other transportation stakeholders to gather input to aid in the preliminary engineering phase. This video will provide an introduction and history of these important projects in the Harrisburg area and will present the recommended preferred alternative for each section that have been developed through the alternative analysis process. The project team values your interest in these I-83 projects and will continue to work with the community to minimize impacts and future disruptions while improving mobility and safety for all modes of transportation in the area. The projects are located on Interstate 83, a key link in the Capital Beltway, which encircles the city of Harrisburg. As part of the National Highway System, I-83 serves as an important transportation hub connecting people and products. I-83 is also an essential travel corridor for people who live and work around the greater Harrisburg region. The East Shore Section 2 and 3 projects are part of a series of improvements that were identified as part of the I-83 Master Plan completed in 2003. The purpose of the Master Plan was to identify transportation projects that would improve traffic operations and safety by providing an upgraded transportation facility that better serves its users. The plan established 4 sections along an 11-mile corridor between Interstate 81 and the York Split. The first of these sections, East Shore Section 1, which extends from the I-81 junction to south of the Union Deposit Interchange, is currently under construction. Construction is anticipated to extend through 2021. The East Shore Section 2 project begins at the southern limit of East Shore Section 1, just south of Union Deposit Road, and continues along I-83 to the 29th Street Bridge overpass and includes the Eisenhower Interchange and portions of I-283 and US 322. The East Shore Section 3 project proceeds from the 29th Street Bridge overpass and continues south along I-83 to the Susquehanna River. The West Shore section is the last of the 4 identified projects from the Master Plan. In 2015, the I-83 PA 581 Interchange Bottleneck Safety Project was completed in this area to relieve congestion and reduce the frequency of crashes. The Master Plan proposed additional long-term improvements, which include construction of a full-system interchange with PA 581. The Section 2 and 3 projects are in the early stages of preliminary design and will address similar needs as Section 1, including aging infrastructure, chronic congestion, and safety concerns from existing outdated design features. Motorists on the interstate confront traffic incidents, difficult merge and exit maneuvers, and maintenance activities on a daily basis. The original pavement and bridges that were built in the 1960s have deteriorated to the point where total replacement is required. Additionally, by the year 2050, traffic volumes in some areas of the highway are projected to grow from approximately 110,000 to more than 150,000 vehicles daily. In the East Shore Section 2 area, improvements will also focus on enhancing the local roadway network across both the railroad and highway corridors for all modes of transportation. Existing local roads, such as City Park Drive and 63rd Street, restrict traffic flow due to narrow widths and truck restrictions, while the north and south portions of 40th Street are separated by the existing lanes of Interstate 83. In the East Shore Section 3 area, pedestrian and bicycle improvements at existing crossings of I-83 will be considered to better connect communities and improve safety. PennDOT has worked closely with its consultant teams to develop and evaluate numerous alternatives, including options based on conceptual designs conceived as part of the I-83 Master Plan. Alternatives were developed utilizing current design standards, detailed traffic and survey information, environmental data collection efforts, along with input from community stakeholders. The project team has conducted numerous stakeholder meetings with adjacent municipalities, local schools, emergency service providers, Capital Area Transit, and the Capital Area Greenbelt. Studies have included the identification of natural, cultural, and community resources, the examination of existing and future traffic volumes, the evaluation of where traffic is coming from and going to through origin-destination studies, and the evaluation of traffic control and construction sequencing. This detailed information has helped the project teams to develop and evaluate the preliminary design alternatives, resulting in a recommended preferred alternative for each project that addresses the project needs and minimizes impacts. The challenges along the I-83 corridor include a densely populated area with many businesses, schools, community facilities, residences, historic and environmental resources. PennDOT's overall goal is to avoid or minimize impacts to these sensitive features when possible. Additionally, the National Environmental Policy Act requires the Federal Highway Administration and PennDOT to demonstrate and document how any required impacts to these resources will be minimized. The project areas contain historic resources that are listed on the National Register of Historic Places and additional properties that are eligible for listing. Natural resources, including waterways, wetlands, and endangered species, are also present and have been taken into consideration. Air quality and noise study areas were also identified and will be further evaluated as preliminary engineering progresses. Utilities and railroads, such as Norfolk Southern and Amtrak, also present challenges. Utility and railroad impacts can be costly and time-consuming. Traffic analysis and maintenance of existing traffic patterns during construction had an important role in the development of alternatives and the evaluation of complex interchange dynamics. Traffic studies demonstrated the benefit of separating traffic with destinations in the Harrisburg area from motors traveling through the region on I-83. As a result, the project teams are using designated lanes, also called a collector-distributor or CD system in certain portions of the design. To improve safety and travel flow, through traffic will be separated from traffic merging on and off the interstate. Once all the challenges were identified, a cycle of designing, analyzing, and refining was used to develop, evaluate, and compare alternatives, resulting in a recommended preferred alternative. Impacts that may affect property owners, community facilities, and environmental resources will be further defined as preliminary engineering continues. If impacts are unavoidable, PennDOT will consider ways to minimize and address the impacts caused by the projects. The recommended preferred alternative for the I-83 East Shore Section 2 and Section 3 projects increase the existing number of lanes on I-83 to a minimum of 3 mainline travel lanes in each direction with a 55-mile-per-hour speed limit. To improve safety, the I-83 roadway for both sections includes widening the existing narrow median to utilize 12-foot median shoulders separated by a concrete barrier and 12-foot minimum outside shoulders. In addition, East Shore Section 3 and a portion of East Shore Section 2 utilizes a collector-distributor system to serve local roads and intersecting highways. To improve pedestrian and bicycle accommodations for the local roadways crossing I-83, the projects include widened shoulders and 5-foot minimum sidewalks. Taking a closer look at the preliminary design of the recommended preferred alternative, we begin at the Susquehanna River, which is the western limit of East Shore Section 3. Within the East Shore Section 3 project, improvements are proposed at the following interchanges: 2nd and Front Streets, a new interchange at Cameron Street to replace the 13th Street interchange, and the split interchange at 17th and 19th Streets. The 2nd and Front Street interchange makes similar connections to I-83 as it does today. However, the northbound ramp connecting to 2nd Street will be realigned and widened to 2 lanes. The new ramp, shifted slightly to the south, provides the required clearances under I-83 and results in less travel impacts during construction. Other ramp improvements at this interchange will be constructed on the existing alignment. Just to the east of the interchange, the I-83 mainline collector-distributor system begins with 3 through lanes and 2 CD lanes to accommodate the local connections. Cameron Street connects directly to I-83, replacing the existing connection at 13th Street, providing easier access to downtown Harrisburg. Access from Cameron Street to I-83 northbound and southbound is provided using a partial cloverleaf design. The new connection provides direct access to the main north-south route, Cameron Street, and reduces traffic near Foose Elementary School at 13th Street and Sycamore Street. The 13th Street Bridge over I-83 is replaced to maintain the existing local connections across I-83. Paxton Street is realigned between 16th Street and 13th Street, improving the alignment at the 13th Street intersection and reducing the size of the I-83 bridge over Paxton Street. Also in the vicinity of 13th Street, a ramp is provided in the southbound direction for local traffic to access onto I-83. Cameron Street will be widened to accommodate turn lanes and includes pedestrian and bicycle accommodations. Based on community input to preserve the existing local, residential, and commercial traffic patterns for access to I-83, the 17th and 19th Street interchange maintains the existing ramp configurations. Both the mainline I-83 bridge over 17th Street and the 19th Street overhead bridge will be replaced. In addition, 17th and 19th Streets cross over the Norfolk Southern Railroad. These bridges are also being replaced, including improved bicycle and pedestrian accommodations. As the northbound on-ramp from 19th Street joins I-83, the division between the main line and the collector distributor lanes merge to create 5 lanes northbound. Similarly, in southbound direction, the main line will transition from a 4-lane section to 3 through lanes and a 2-lane CD road. This configuration continues from this area to the eastern limit of the East Shore Section 3 project at the 29th Street overpass. The alignment of I-83 is shifted to the south to reduce potential impacts to the historic railroad property. To accommodate the widening and alignment shift, the 29th Street Bridge is replaced and will include improved pedestrian and bicycle accommodations. From the 29th Street Bridge, the East Shore Section 2 project begins and extends to just south of Union Deposit Road. A focus of this section was to better the local roadway network that currently is limited due to the highway and railroad corridors dividing the area. Within the project, improvements will be made at several interchanges, including Paxton Street, the Eisenhower Interchange, and Dairy Street. Additionally, local road connections to the east and west of the Eisenhower Interchange will be enhanced. East of 29th Street, I-83 continues with 4 lanes in the southbound direction, while northbound I-83 transitions from 5 lanes to 3 through lanes and a multi-lane collector-distributor system. All northbound motorists traveling to Paxton Street, I-283, US 322, and Dairy Street will utilize the CD system to separate from mainline I-83 traffic. The main line in this area was designed to minimize impacts to several historic, natural, and community resources. These include the historic Spring House, the Capital Area Greenbelt, the Rutherford House, and Paxtang Park. East Shore Section 2 includes a complete redesign of the I-83 Paxton Street interchange near the Harrisburg Mall. The existing northbound 32nd Street and Wayne Street ramps will be eliminated. Instead, motorists traveling northbound will access Paxton Street via ramps connecting to the collector distributor system. These ramps will tie to Paxton Street at the current signalized location of the Harrisburg Mall's main entrance. Those traveling southbound will utilize a new loop ramp to access Paxton Street. The southbound off-ramp to Paxton Street will have a dedicated lane on I-83, creating 5 lanes southbound until the exit. The ramp to Paxton Street will cross over I-83 utilizing a new bridge. These southbound ramps will tie into Paxton Street at the signalized intersection located at the current Bass Pro Shop entrance. Heading north, I-83 parallels Paxton Street, continuing 5 through lanes southbound and 3 through lanes plus the multi-lane collector-distributor system northbound. Approaching the Eisenhower interchange, the 3 northbound I-83 through lanes remain and the CD system will end with the lanes splitting to provide 1 lane that will join the other I-83 through lanes, 2 lanes to access US 322 eastbound and Derry Street, and 2 lanes to access I-283 southbound. The East Shore Section 2 project includes the redesign of the Eisenhower interchange. All the existing ramp movements will be reconfigured. Mainline I-83 will be shifted to the west between Holy Cross Cemetery and the interstate's current location, utilizing flyover bridges to span over the existing historic railroad property and new interchange ramps. Each direction of I-83 will carry a total of 4 lanes on these structures, including 3 through lanes plus a single lane ramp. Just north of the Eisenhower interchange, the partial interchange with Derry Street will be completely redesigned. The existing ramp configuration will be replaced with a single-point urban interchange, or SPUI. This type of interchange requires relatively narrow right-of-way and has the advantage that opposing left turns occur at the same time through a single traffic signal, and right turn movements are typically free-flow or yield-controlled. All movements accessing Derry Street from I-83 will pass through this traffic signal, with mainline I-83 spanning over the intersection. This interchange will provide full access to and from Derry Street for I-83, I-283, and US 322. As part of the redesign of both the Eisenhower and Derry Street interchanges, the two-way portion of Eisenhower Boulevard between I-83 southbound and Paxton Street will be replaced with an interstate ramp connecting I-83 southbound and Derry Street to both I-283 southbound and US 322 eastbound. Eisenhower Boulevard will remain in its current configuration south of the intersection with Paxton Street. The existing signalized T intersection between Paxton Street and Eisenhower Boulevard will be removed and realigned to create a continuous roadway. With a change to Eisenhower Boulevard and need for an improved local roadway network as noted during public outreach, 2 new connections will be built in the vicinity of the Eisenhower interchange. On the west side of the Eisenhower interchange, existing 40th Street will be realigned and improved to include a bridge that crosses over I-83 and the railroad, providing a needed connection between north and south of I-83. The improvements include a new signal at the realigned intersection with Derry Street. Existing Boyd Road will be realigned and improved to provide a connection between 40th Street and the new Paxton Street interchange. The second north-south connection will be on the east side of the Eisenhower interchange. Currently, Paxton Street dead ends just to the east of the interstate. The new connection will join this area of Paxton Street to Derry Street, across from East Park Drive, creating a 4-leg intersection. This connection and the 40th Street improvements will include pedestrian and bicycle accommodations. Beyond the Derry Street interchange, mainline I-83 continues to the north, tying in just south of the Union Deposit interchange. Interstate 83 through this area maintains the 3 mainline through lanes in each direction, plus ramp lanes. With the reconfiguration of the Eisenhower interchange, modifications are needed to both I-283 and US 322. I-283 southbound will widen from 3 lanes to 4 lanes to accommodate the interchange ramps. These 4 lanes will continue south, transitioning back to the existing 2-lane section just north of PA 441 Lindell Road, with the exit ramp widened from 1 to 2 lanes. The existing 2-lane section for I-283 northbound will be widened from 2 to 3 lanes to accommodate a dedicated lane for the PA 441 Lindell Road on-ramp. Continuing north, a 4th lane will be developed just south of Chambers Hill Road, creating a 4-lane section that will proceed north into the Eisenhower interchange. US 322 eastbound will also be widened to 4 lanes to accommodate the ramps from the Eisenhower interchange. The 4-lane section will continue to the east until the Penhar interchange, where the 4th lane will exit. The remaining 3-lane section will then continue east, transitioning back to the existing 2-lane configuration just past the interchange. Heading westbound, the existing 2-lane section will be widened to 3 lanes to accommodate a dedicated lane for the on-ramp from Paxton Street. A 4th lane will then be developed just west of the Penhar interchange, creating a 4-lane section that will proceed west into the Eisenhower interchange. Both US 322 bridges over Penhar will be replaced to accommodate the widened cross sections. The recommended preferred alternative for both East Shore Section 2 and East Shore Section 3 projects are the result of PennDOT's efforts to minimize impacts and future disruptions while improving mobility and safety for all modes of transportation in the area. As the recommended preferred alternative for the 2 projects are further refined, PennDOT will continue to work with local municipalities, communities, and project stakeholders to ensure potential impacts are minimized. Once environmental approvals are received, the projects can proceed into final design. Right-of-way plan development, coordination of utility relocations, as well as potential noise barrier coordination will begin. Noise study areas determined in preliminary design will be further analyzed to designate which areas would warrant noise barriers. PennDOT will then conduct neighborhood meetings for these areas to solicit further input. Environmental permits will be obtained during this phase as well. Design techniques such as retaining walls and steepened embankment slopes will be considered to minimize impacts to the extent possible. PennDOT's representatives will fully assist impacted property owners through the right-of-way acquisition and compensation process. Construction will require multiple construction contracts and phases to best accommodate travelers and address all aspects of these complex projects, including constructability, traffic control, utilities, stormwater management, bridge replacements, noise and retaining walls, roadway widening, and new connections. The current schedule anticipates construction for the projects to begin around 2022 and extend through 2030. Please visit the project website at www.i-83beltway.com to stay informed throughout the duration of the project, to submit inquiries to the project team, and to register for email updates. This video and additional information are also available to view on the website. We thank you for your time and interest in the I-83 East Shore Section 2 and East Shore Section 3 projects. The input of the community and project stakeholders is appreciated.